Okay, hey, what is up, you guys? This is Steffi, aka In My Humble Opinion, and welcome to the last video coming out for 2018. Oh my god, I could already tell this is gonna be very difficult for me. So, as you all know, this particular video is going to be an unedited Q&A video. That means I basically am not allowed to edit this video, what you're watching whatsoever. Like, once I hit the stop recording button, I basically will just import the footage and then export it and upload it to YouTube as is, so I can't edit out any of the likes or ums or awkward pauses. So, however, I will say if I ever do make a cut, it's gonna be because one, I either got interrupted, two, I live near a train, so if the train starts to run in the background, I need to stop or else it's going to ruin the sound quality, and three, if my camera runs out of battery. So that's the only time I will ever stop. Other than that, just know none of this has been edited whatsoever. Okay, so I thought to end 2018, I would give you guys the opportunity to ask me anything that you wanted. It's no topics off limit, unedited Q&A, and I got quite a number of questions. I also have to add that two of the questions that I'm going to be answering were questions that were asked for another Q&A that I just never got around to doing. So that's actually the two questions that I'm going to be starting off with. But yeah, okay, so let's just get into it. And I also, before we begin, I have to say thank you for submitting your questions, because I do appreciate when you guys take the time to interact with me on YouTube. So there is that. Thank you. Okay, so the first question comes to us from Clementine Diva. This was one of the questions that was asked for a previous Q&A. But Clementine Diva, she greeted me happy birthday, so this was asked in August. I guess I'll read the full comment. She said, "Girl, do you? I love your commitment and passion to your channel and viewers." Okay, maybe I won't read the full comment because it's, at the time I was talking about how I was having difficulty recording videos over the summer because I have no air conditioning in my room, so it get very hot. So she talks about like, well, it's okay, like, you do you. So I'm gonna just fast forward here to the actual question. She says, for the Q&A, I'd love to know what your profession and or college major is. Is it film related or journalism, because you're so natural, charismatic, and articulate on camera? Well, thank you, Clementine Diva. First of all, sorry, Clementine Diva, that it took me months to answer this. So as far as like what my job is, right now I am working as a part-time dance teacher because I grew up dancing. Like, that was the thing that I did pretty much all my life. So right now I'm working at a studio as a dance teacher, and then I've also been helping my parents out with the condo stuff that we're doing in the Philippines. You guys saw little snippets of that when we went and did the travel vlog videos in the Philippines, so that's kind of what I've been doing. As far as what my college major is, yeah, one of them was film related, so I double majored in psychology and then creative producing, and creative producing is a program that was offered through the film school, so yes, that is film related. And I guess, yeah, I mean, like, though I feel like those two majors especially, they definitely help inform what I do on the channel, especially like my creative producing major, because while a lot of the courses under that program were more about like, budgeting and the importance of story and all of like the logistics of what it takes to make a film or just make something like a show or a TV show or whatever. I did take classes under that particular program that were about film analysis. Like, we had to take like History of Film Part 1 and then History of Film Part 2. We did a film script analysis class, was one of the things I had to take. I also had to take another class about like film aesthetics. So learning about like different camera angles, why, like, there's a term in the world of cinema called the mise en scene, which is basically analyzing the elements within a shot, and from those different elements, whether it's like the color grading and the cinematography and the way that a certain scene is blocked, like they ultimately will convey a certain emotion. So I definitely think that helps with how I review things on my channel, whether it be like Fan Reaction Friday videos or movie reviews, and even like music reviews too. Like, even though there is no visual component, God, I'm saying a lot. Again, under the creative producing program, because a lot of those classes were also about the importance of story, I think analyzing lyrics in a song help inform my song reviews on the channel. And I also think, you know, my psychology degree that I got in school helps as well, because I think something that I learned when I was in the psychology department was the importance of understanding different perspectives and point of views and ways of thinking. And I definitely think that informs the stories that we as viewers consume. So yeah, long-winded answer, but that's basically what I do and what my college major was. Alright, so moving on to another question. God, I hope this is probably gonna be like friggin' 30 minutes, so hope you're eating a snack. Okay, the next question is by Songbird Laurent. He greeted me a happy birthday, so thank you. Songbird Laurent wants to know more about my background and growing up, and 2 places I want to travel to next. Okay, so background. Well, I'm full Filipino. I think I've made that clear throughout the duration of my time here on YouTube, but I'm full Filipino. I was born and raised in Southern California, Orange County to be more specific. I'm an only child. Let's see. Gosh, I mean, I don't... Background. What else can I say? Well, hobbies that I had growing up were... I was that, you know, like, I'm Asian, so... And I'm an only child. So I was definitely that kid that after school I had a lot of extracurricular activities. Like, at one point when I was a kid, I was doing dance, piano, karate, and tennis. And it was so funny because, like, about 2 weeks ago, I was talking with a friend, and my friend was like, yeah, well, our lives are just so busy now, because when we were in school, like, after school, once the school ends at 3 p.m., you can pretty much do whatever you want to do, and you have time to hang out with your friends and blah, blah, blah. And in the back of my head, I was just like, that just never was my childhood. I never was that kid that was allowed to just do whatever they wanted. Like, I never really had that free time of just going to hang out at a friend's house and doing all of that fun stuff. I was literally right after school doing some extracurricular activity from like 3:30 to 9 p.m. and that was pretty much my life, like, until, from kindergarten, like, no exaggeration, from kindergarten until like my sophomore year of college. So yeah, that was pretty much my background there. I hope that answers your question. And then that's also answering the growing up part of your question. And then you wanted to know 2 places you want to travel to next. 2 places I want to travel to next are... Well, I really want to go to Australia. And I also really want to go to... I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Italy because, one, as much as I love Filipino food, my favorite type of food is Italian food. I love Italian food. So I'd want to go to Italy for the food, even though I've heard that the pasta in Italy is different from, like, obviously the pasta here in the United States, but I still want to go to Italy for the experience. And also I follow a lot of travel vloggers here on YouTube, and a lot of them seem to go to Positano, and just the scenery in Positano specifically in Italy just looks so stunning. So I really want to go there. So hopefully one day I could go to Positano, Italy. Oh, and Australia, like I said. And also I really want to go to Greece. I really, really want to go to Greece. Okay, so the next group of questions are questions that were asked under the video where I announced that I was doing a Q&A. So here we go. First question is, the first question is by Jaskarin Singh. So thank you, Jaskarin, for the question. Jaskarin wants to know, when did something start out badly for you, but in the end it was great? Wow, that's an interesting question. When did something start out badly, but in the end, it was great? You know, I will say, like, my freshman year of college, I was still dancing at this particular dance studio that I had spent, like, 6 years at. And usually, when you finish high school, that's when you stop competing. But because I was still local, my teacher was like, you should still compete. Actually, he didn't even like offer that. He sort of forced me into competing an extra year after I graduated. So I was kind of like a super senior at my dance studio. And I remember kind of being a little bit embarrassed about that because I didn't want to be one of those people that was like, oh, she just couldn't let it go, but yet here she is still competing. And I remember when I started out that particular season in my dance career, like I said, I was feeling not the greatest. I was just like, why am I still here? I feel stuck in life. And then I also, you know, because a lot of the people that I was dancing with at the time, they were like 2-3 years younger than me. And if you guys are like familiar with dance or even just like athletics in general, it's like the older you get, it's like your body becomes more constricted. And sometimes I'd be comparing myself to the younger kids who, like, you know, they're like 16, 17 and they're like have a lot of energy, and here I am like 19. Wow, that's kind of stupid to say because 19 is still really young, but like 15 to 19, 16 to 19, you know, there is a difference there. But I just be like, wow, they just have so much energy and I just get so easily tired compared to them. And as the competition season started, I used to be one of those kids in the studio where I was always the person that like they compared people to. Like they'd be like, oh, you got to do it like her. I was the her. And in the beginning of the competition season, like I wasn't doing as well as I had typically done, so then I started feeling even worse about myself. I remember sometimes like crying from the dance studio to home, just being like, why did I continue? Like I'm just doing so bad. But it wasn't until the very end of the competition season when, I don't know, just I really had to dig deep, man, and be like, you know what, F the competition results, just do your best and try to dance the best that you can. And then at the very end, I was able to do really, really well. So, yeah, that was kind of the season in my life where it started off a little bit rocky, but in the end, it turned out fine. It turned out really, really good. And I don't think if I had not struggled in that earlier part of my competition season, I don't think I would have been able to dig deep within myself to like push myself to improve and be a better dancer. Oh, and then an important part I missed of this too was, so earlier in that competition season, we had all auditioned for this choreographer that was gonna come and place a piece on us. And again, like I was kind of saying earlier, I was that person in the studio that was always like, you gotta do it like her. And in this audition, I was the very first person cut. So that was like very embarrassing for me. Jump to like June, July, the end of the season, and we took a master class from this guy named Desmond Richardson. If you don't know who that is, just YouTube him. He is just this amazing dancer extraordinaire. He's actually done background dancing for Michael Jackson and a lot of really notable people during that era, and he is the founder of this really prestigious dance company called Complexions. I say all of that to say that when we took his master class, I was very nervous because I was just like, oh my god, I just need to get through this class. And then at the very end, which apparently this is something he normally never does, he picked me out of the entire class and was like, I want you guys to watch her because she's doing it really, really well. And if I was holding the audition, I would hire her. So after being like eliminated first at audition in like January to suddenly being pointed out by someone who I've personally looked up to when it comes to dance and being told that if this was an audition, he would hire me, like that just felt like a really nice character arc for me that season. So yeah, a little long-winded once again, but that was a time in my life where the season started off pretty rocky, but in the end, it was great. So there's that. All right. Stefan wants to know, I'm hoping to come to LA soon to see my friend and would love to meet up with you at some point. What's the best way to get a hold of you privately to make arrangements? Well, Stefan, you also commented earlier and you were like, I hope that's not creepy. No, it's not creepy. Actually, I'm sure she doesn't mind, but I've actually met with a subscriber who watched my channel. I consider her to be a friend now. Her name is Genevieve, and we actually watched the Whitney Houston movie together. So this won't be, if we do end up meeting, this wouldn't be our first time. This wouldn't be my first time meeting with someone who watches the channel. Yeah, just email me. My email is in the description box, so you could email me. Hopefully our schedules will align because that'd be really cool if we could meet up. Okay, moving on to the next question. Tristan Doubting. Tristan wants to know, what's your favorite show if you had to pick between all the shows you have reacted to? And also, what was your favorite and least favorite films of 2018? Nice. Okay, so entertainment related question. Okay, so out of all the shows that I've done on the channel for just 2018, ooh, that's a lot of shows. I'd say my favorite one is Pose. Even though like The Handmaid's Tale, like I got a lot of views from those videos because the fan base of The Handmaid's Tale is very like, yeah, we want to know what other people are thinking about the show. And American Horror Story, that was they have a very rabid fan base. Watching those two shows on the channel was a fun experience, but for me personally, I would still say that the favorite show that I reviewed on the channel this year was Pose, because it just felt like, first of all, that show is just so revolutionary. There is nothing like it on TV. There's never been anything like it on TV, so there's that. Two, in terms of like what I personally like when it comes to my TV shows, that show, like aesthetically, music-wise, the stories that they told on that show, like those are kind of the shows that I tend to gravitate towards more. So yeah, I would say Pose was my favorite show that I did on the channel this year. And then my favorite and least favorite films of 2018. Woo! Okay, so, gosh, I'm gonna have to think. Well, God, 2018 seems like so long. Well, a favorite movie that I watched was the Whitney documentary. That was, as a huge Whitney Houston fan, even though that documentary was very bleak, I was just really excited as a Whitney fan to be able to watch something new about Whitney. So that was one of my favorites. Let's see. Gosh, I have to remember, like, what I watched. I mean, I really enjoyed Black Panther when it came out. That wasn't something that I reviewed on the channel, but I really enjoyed Black Panther. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I didn't really... Like, I obviously reviewed movies for the channel, but I feel like I didn't even get to the movie theater as much as I would have liked. I really enjoyed... Oh, Crazy Rich Asians. Loved Crazy Rich Asians. I saw that twice. I'll also say... Love, Simon. I liked Love, Simon. I think that was one of the first movie reviews I did this year, so I liked that. A Star is Born was great too, so I'll say those. As far as least favorite films of 2018, I mean, I'll say I watched 3 holiday movies on Netflix for Vlogmas this year, and one of them was just like not very good. It's called The Holiday Calendar, so I'll say that was probably my least favorite film of 2018. Okay, next question is Miss Redalick. She has several here. First question is, if you had to get rid of one of the 10 amendments, which one would you get rid of? Wow. You'd have to know the 10 amendments to know which one to get rid of. So there was a time in my life where I knew all 10 amendments. It's just been a while. I would probably say, though, that the amendment regarding the right to bear arms would probably be the amendment I would personally get rid of, because, you know, it's no secret that there is a huge gun control issue here in the United States, and the fact that it is readily accessible to a lot of people here in the United States has caused a lot of problems, especially just within this past year alone. And I think a lot of people, even though their argument will be, well, it's an amendment, right? It's like a part of our original rights here as United States citizens. It's important to look at the context in which the amendments were written, because back then, you know, guns weren't as powerful as they are now in 2018. And I'm sure, you know, it's just the ways of living back when the amendments were originally written are completely different to the way people live in 2018. So if there's one amendment I would get rid of, it would be that, because I think it's definitely doing more harm than good. The next question is, if you could be a member of a TV sitcom family, which would it be? Ooh. A TV sitcom family. That is tough. Gosh, it's hard too, because I don't really watch sitcoms. Like, I mean, I did when I was younger, but it's been a while since I've watched a TV sitcom. You know what? This is a reality show, but it's kind of like a modern day TV sitcom. I've been binge watching Braxton Family Values within, like, from November to December, and I'm like obsessed. And I think I would definitely, even though like that family is so freaking dysfunctional, there are times when I wish, like, if I hypothetically could join that family, maybe I would join that family, mainly because as an only child, you know, you get lonely, and there are definitely times when I wish I had siblings that I could just hang out with. So yeah, maybe I'll just say like Braxton Family Values. If I were to choose a different answer, maybe I would say, I don't know, Blackish. So Tracy Ellis Ross could be my mom. So yeah, those are my 2 answers. Okay. If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say? Oh my gosh. Like, comment, and subscribe. No, just kidding. I would say, God, these are hard questions, Miss Redalick. Just 30 seconds. Gosh, well, I would definitely write a speech or write some notes so I knew what to say within those 30 seconds. I don't know, like, I would just try and spread positivity within those 30 seconds, whether it was positive messages about like the importance of self-love, the importance of listening. I think nowadays a lot of people are more interested in just getting their opinions out. This is kind of funny because my YouTube channel is called In My Humble Opinion, but I think a lot of people nowadays are more interested in the importance of getting their message out. But I would also say that there is a lot of value in listening to what other people have to say. So I would probably say a little spiel about the importance of listening. Yeah, and the importance of just taking care of yourself, mentally and physically and emotionally. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. 30 seconds right there. Okay, if you could be a fly on the wall anywhere, where would it be? Gosh, fly on the wall anywhere. If I could be a fly on the wall anywhere, where would it be? You know what? As a Beyonce fan, I would want to be a fly on the wall in Parkwood. So Parkwood is Beyonce's production company, and I would just want to be a fly on the wall there because I just like to observe their creative process. Actually, you know what? I would want to be a fly on the wall in the offices and production companies of all of like the people that I look up to creatively. So if that be like Beyonce at Parkwood, I'd love to be a fly on the wall during like a Black Mirror creative meeting. Like, how does Charlie Brooker come up with these stories? That'd be pretty cool. A Ryan Murphy creative meeting, a Shonda Rhimes creative meeting. So yeah, that would probably be where I would want to be a fly on the wall. Okay. Gemini left this particular question because earlier today I did a last minute call. So Gemini asked, well, she says, or he says, this isn't exactly a question, but if you had to pitch your own season idea to Ryan Murphy for American Horror Story in 30 seconds, what would you say? I'd say Ryan Murphy, period piece, film noir, 1930s, 1940s, black and white, Hollywood, revisit the Black Dahlia, boom, there you go. Raphael Omar asks, which one do you prefer, Black Mirror or American Horror Story? Oh, it's hard because like there are some seasons of American Horror Story that I absolutely love, but then there's other seasons of American Horror Story that I'm like, ugh. But, you know, like American Horror Story, like you have more of a chance to get emotionally connected to those characters because you have an entire season with them. Whereas with like Black Mirror, it's just the one episode. But I do think that the writing, well, maybe not necessarily the writing, but I think just the overall like themes that are covered within Black Mirror are more appealing to me. Like, I don't know, like whenever I get finished watching an episode of Black Mirror, it just washes over me in a way that, you know, when I watch American Horror Story, I'll be thinking about it, but I won't be as engrossed in the story as I am with Black Mirror. So I guess I'll say Black Mirror. Okay, so the next group of questions were asked during a live stream. So we have several here from Mashup God, aka Harper. So thank you very much, Harper, for submitting your questions. Okay, how are we doing on time? Okay, I'm gonna have to hit stop and then re-record again. But Mashup God wants to know, what made you start YouTube? So, actually, I'm gonna stop this right now. Okay, I'm back. I just had to stop it because whenever I record on my camera, it only records in like 28-minute chunks, so I didn't want to be interrupted while answering this question. So what made me start YouTube? Well, for the longest time, I really wanted to have my own YouTube channel. Like, even from the moment when I first started watching YouTube back in like well, actually my first YouTube video I ever watched was a compilation of Beyonce falling down the stairs in Orlando, and then like it was during her Ring the Alarm performance, and they would like slow it down and then they replay it again. Like, it was just a 2-3 minute video, but I remember being like, whoa, like this is YouTube, like this is a thing. But the first person I actually started watching on YouTube who had their own like actual YouTube channel is this guy named Niga Higa. He used to do comedy skits. He's still very popular on YouTube, by the way, but he was kind of the first one, and that was back in like 2007, I think, maybe even 2006, but for sure 2007, 2008. And ever since then, I've been wanting to make my own YouTube channel. In high school, I was in high school from like 2009 to 2012. I was wanting to have my own YouTube channel, but then I was just really busy with school, and then I was also very like self-conscious too, because I was thinking like, oh, like if kids from my high school, they find out that I do YouTube, I don't know how I would deal with that. Like I think I'd be still pretty embarrassed, especially since like at that time YouTube wasn't very mainstream, so I didn't do that. Around 2013, 2014, I started a joint YouTube channel with two of my best friends from high school, and it was called The Great Indoors, and we had that for like about a year, but logistically it was really hard for us to always get together because they live about like 20-25 minutes away from me, and we were also in college, so just like finding times where our schedules would align and we could film together, it was difficult, so that kind of fell by the wayside. And then I started my YouTube channel in 2016, right after I finished college. So yeah, the intention has always been there for me to want to have my own YouTube channel, and I guess I never answered why. The why of why I want to do YouTube channel is because I just really like this idea of listening to myself talk. No, just kidding. I like talking about things that I like, and I like sharing my ideas with other people and starting conversations about said things that I like. In fact, one of my favorite YouTube channels here on YouTube is a channel called Two Gay Mats. You guys, like, if you like my channel, like, you should subscribe to them, like, literally, because they are a huge influence on what I do here on YouTube, because they are just two guys who talk about like a wide variety of things within pop culture. So just the excitement that they have when they're talking about the things that they love is definitely something that inspired me here on YouTube. So yeah, just getting to talk about the things that I love, movie reviews and TV reviews and music reviews, like pretty much how I talk here on YouTube is how I communicate with a lot of my friends in real life. Like, I am that person within my friend group that is always recommending to people like what they should be watching, what they should be listening to, like a new movie that's come out. Like, my friends will usually come to me and like ask, oh, is this movie good, or is this show good? Have you heard this song? Would you recommend me doing this? Yada yada yada. Like, that's kind of who I am in real life, so I thought that would translate well to a YouTube channel. And then additionally, I also started getting into travel vlogs within this past year, and like even before I had a YouTube channel, I would always just be filming wherever I went. Like, when I was 15 and like my height of my Michael Jackson stan was like there, I pretty much vlogged all of my Michael Jackson adventures. So hopefully, you know, within this year, I'll be sharing some of that footage with you. But I've just always been that person that will take a camera with me and be like, oh, hey, I'm here at da-da-da, even though like I had no intention of posting that anywhere, sharing that with anyone, because at the time, like, YouTube wasn't really a thing. So yeah, again, long-winded, but that's pretty much why I started YouTube, to just share my thoughts with other people, to share my experiences with other people, and to just start a dialogue with other people who may or may not be interested in the same things as me. And I feel like that's definitely something that we're starting to achieve here on the channel. Okay, so next question by Mashup God is, have you ever been in a serious relationship? And the answer to that is no. Next question, are you scared of dying? Well, you know, there are some moments when I'm like, God, what happens after this? Well, I mean, like, religiously speaking, because I am Catholic, I do believe that heaven exists, but in terms of like, what does that heaven look like, is something that always is like, scares me. And then sometimes I think like, oh gosh, like, am I gonna go to heaven? Like, is everyone guaranteed to go to heaven? I don't know. Like, is Hitler in heaven? We want to believe he's in hell, but God is a forgiving God. So, yeah, am I scared of dying? Yes and no. Yes, because, you know, there's an uncertainty there in terms of like what happens after you die and what does heaven look like. And also, like, you know, I consider myself to still be young. I'm 25. I don't want to die young. I still want to live a very full, long life, so there's that. But there's also, you know, elements where I would say, no, I'm not scared of dying, because if there's one thing that is inevitable when you are born is death. So, yeah. There's that. Okay. The next question is, who would be your dream actor, actress on American Horror Story? Well, I want Angela Bassett to come back to American Horror Story. Who else would be really, really cool to see on Horror Story? I think... gosh. Who would be really... Oh, you know who would be really cool? He's definitely someone who's worked with Ryan Murphy, is Jonathan Groff. I would love to see Jonathan Groff, on American Horror Story. And, like, he has that show on Netflix called... I forget what it's called, but he plays, like, a cop trying to investigate all the murders, and I feel like there's some, like, psychological thriller horror elements to that show, so I would imagine he's kind of familiar with the genre, so I think he'd be cool to see on Horror Story. I mean, if we want to go big, it'd be cool if they could get, like, Nicole Kidman. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Yeah, Nicole Kidman, I would say. Nicole Kidman, Angela Bassett, come back permanently, Jonathan Groff, because, you know, everybody loves Jay Groff. Okay, next question by Mashup God. What's your dream scenario for feud? Dream scenario for feud. Oof. You know what would be really cool is I would love to see, like, I feel like we have pop culturally, there's a 90s resurgence that is happening right now, but I feel like we're slowly going to start getting into the 2000s pop culture resurgence, and I want to see a feud, like, this is, it would be so campy and ridiculous, but I'd love to see a feud about Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Because as a kid, like, I remember, like, you know, being 6, 7, 8 years old, whether or not there was a feud, there was always a rumor that there was a huge feud between Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. So I just think that'd be, like, a really fun period of time to cover, and to actually, like, seriously look at that period of time, too. And analyze some deep thoughts between a feud with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. That's so ridiculous, but I guess I just say that. Next question by Harper. Who's your favorite rapper? Gosh, I mean, I'm not a hip-hop head by any means. I don't really listen to hip-hop that much. But, I would say I really like Lauryn Hill. I really, really like Lauryn Hill. She does, like, singing and rapping, but I'd consider Lauryn Hill to be one of my favorites. Lisa Left Eye, so there's some female MCs there. You know, even though he cheated on Beyonce, I'd say Jay-Z is one of my favorite rappers too. I haven't listened to all of his discography, but I've listened to a couple of his albums and I really enjoy them. And I'll say, like, Kendrick Lamar. And even though he's really corny, 2014 Forest Hills Drive is one of my favorite albums, so I'd say J. Cole, but maybe just that specific album. Okay. This was also asked in the live stream by someone else. Mr. Mateus R. What's your favorite hobby? So, my favorite hobby, well, I guess YouTube is kind of a hobby. It's a very time-consuming hobby, but I'd say YouTube. Playing Sims. I love playing Sims. I talk about Sims all the time. In fact, I'm pretty sure you could see here, this is my collection of games. This is Sims 2, but I've been an avid Sims player pretty much all my life, so that's a favorite hobby of mine. Whenever I want to wind down at the end of the day and I'm just like, oh, I just want to have some fun, Sims is what I love to do. Play Sims while listening to a podcast or listening to music. And I also really enjoy driving, because living in Southern California specifically, it's like if you want to get around, you have to drive. So I'd say driving is another favorite hobby of mine, because I just like to drive around and listen to music and podcasts. Okay, Keen Lagerfeld asks, what makes you angry? Woo, Keen, that's a pretty loaded question. Just kidding, no it's not. What makes me angry? People who are really arrogant. I don't like anybody who is arrogant, or they just have some sort of like elitism, like, you know, like people who will look down on you because they think that they're superior to you for some reason. I don't like those kinds of people. I don't like people who, when they're talking to you, you can tell that they're not like 100% here, and you kind of have to fight for their attention, even though, like, especially what really grinds my gears is when they are the ones who ask you to hang out, and then you're with them and you're hanging out and you're trying to like be a good friend and trying to engage with them, and they're just like not here with you. It's like you have to continually fight for their attention. That really freaking annoys me, because I'm just wasting my time. Like, if I want to be wasting my time, I'd rather me being the one to choose how I'm wasting my time instead of trying to fight for your attention. That makes me angry. People who flake. I do not like flaky people. Like, especially, like, I've had this happen to me like a couple of times, like when I've been on the way to meet with a friend or something, and then they'll say like, oh, sorry, I can only like go to the movies with you, but I can't have dinner with you afterwards. I'm just like, what? Well, like, we're not really hanging out, because when we're sitting and watching a movie together, we're not going to be talking while watching the movie. So, like, this is pretty pointless. Like, I could, if I want to watch the movie, I could do it by myself, and I don't need you with me. Like, I think a general theme is just people who waste my time. I don't like it when people waste my time and they don't respect my time and energy. So, yeah, that's something that makes me really, really angry. Nikita Ray asks, how many times have you been divorced? In The Sims, several, but in real life, never. And then, oh no, Gemini asked a question, but your question got cut off when I printed. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna make a cut here, but it's just because I need to find out what this question was. Okay, so hang tight. Oh, Gemini, this is a wonderful question. Okay, and this is a really fun question. This is actually one of the questions that I really, really liked and was very excited to answer. Gemini asked, if you had to make your own Legends tour, who would be on it? Oh my god. Well, obviously, the main people that will be part of the roster will be Michael Jackson will be there. Specifically, Michael Jackson circa like 1987, 88, like his bad era Michael Jackson. I'd want Whitney Houston circa like either Whitney Houston circa 1987 to 88, because I just feel like that's when she was like really in her vocal prime, or Whitney Houston Bodyguard just came out. Before Whitney Houston started touring on the Bodyguard tour, because I really felt like that was not, it just, sending Whitney Houston out to tour that many cities doing those songs that are just so hard vocally on anybody, it didn't really do her voice, like, it just didn't do her voice well over time. Like, I think it did cause some vocal damage. So I would want Whitney Houston, like, either circa I'm Your Baby Tonight era or right after The Bodyguard comes out and before she starts to tour, because we still get the Bodyguard songs and she's still, like, vocally at her best. So, like, 92, 93 Whitney Houston. I'd want Janet Jackson circa Velvet Rope era. I'd want Prince circa Sign of the Times. I'd want Beyonce, like, circa now, but primarily performing songs from 4. And then I'd also want Stevie Wonder as part of the roster as well. I want all Stevie Wonder, but if you just prefer to sing songs from Songs in the Key of Life, that'd be fine too. I'd also like special guests. I would love to have, I've been getting into Toni Braxton lately, so let's just add Toni Braxton there. Babyface, you know, you're a friend of the Toni Braxton, so you could come on too. Tevin Campbell, I'd love to be as part of the roster. Who else? Oh, let's get Aretha Franklin. Let's get Etta James. Let's get some of those Motown acts like Temptations. Let's go. Marvin Gaye, the Supremes. You know, those would probably be like my roster of the legends, but mainly like the 6. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Prince, Janet, Beyonce, and Stevie. They'd be part of my Legends tour. So there's that. Okay, so those are the questions that I printed out, and now I'm going to move on to questions that were asked on Twitter. Okay, so Twitter questions. Oh no. Okay. So this was a question by Charlie Gregory. Charlie Gregory submitted this question for the Q&A I was supposed to do a long time ago, but I never got around to doing it. So here it is. Okay, Charlie Gregory wants to know, if you had the opportunity to write and direct an episode of Black Mirror, what type of story would you tell and what actors would you cast? Oh my gosh. Gosh, honestly, like, the type of, like, story and the type of actors and the whole kind of episode I would ideally would have done if I had this opportunity would have been, like, San Junipero. Like, truly, like, aesthetically wise, story wise, setting wise, like, that is what, in a perfect world, I would have been able to create. So I guess if I had the opportunity to write and direct, I maybe would do like a sequel to San Junipero, like Return to San Junipero. Or maybe if I could try to be a little bit more original here. God, that's hard. That's so hard to think of on the spot too. Like, I have to think about that. For now, I would just say a sequel to Return to San Junipero, because you know, we get to see Gugu Mbatha Raw and Mackenzie Davis again. We get to revisit San Junipero again, so in an ideal world, that's probably what I would do. And, like, time travel, so there's that. Okay, Charlie Gregory also asked another question, and he or she said, wants to know, what are your goals for the next 5 years, both personally and professionally? Gosh, okay, so I'm gonna be 30 in 5 years, and that freaking terrifies me. Well, professionally, I want to, okay, this is gonna sound like a very bougie, but I ideally would like to have like several multiple revenue streams. But seriously, I don't think, like, financial advice, word of the wise, I don't think it's good to put all your eggs in one basket financially. I think it's good to have several different income streams happening. So professionally, that's kind of like what I would like to have going at a steady pace by the time I'm 30. So in order for that to happen, I would love if I was, like, at a good place in my YouTube channel, like, good following, good views. Hopefully by that time, like, maybe I would have done some deals with companies or whatever. Not to say, like, I want to sell out, but, like, hey, companies, if you want to I don't know, have me review a movie and you can pay me some coin for that, I'd gladly do it. That'd be cool if like one of these days we did a Fan Reaction Friday video with someone from the show that I was watching. That would be insane. Yeah, I would, that'd be cool if like the YouTube channel could like be at that place. And then by that time, if the YouTube channel was able to open doors for me that I otherwise would have not been there without the YouTube channel. Like, I would love for more opportunities to come from this. So whether that be like hosting or getting a chance to interview people, that'd be really cool. Hopefully that's something that could happen by the time I'm 30. I don't plan on stopping YouTube anytime soon, so that'd be fun. Hopefully by the time I'm 30, I'm in the early stages of at least starting my own production company. Like, I want to have my own production company where I am making my own kind, like not just like me, but developing different kinds of content for different platforms, whether it's like television shows or movies or for digital streaming services or for like docu-series. I would love to have my own production company. Probably not by the time I'm 30, but like in the early stages of that. And then also, because I have been helping my parents with the condo apartment business that we're starting in the Philippines, I'd like for that to be in a good place. And then hopefully by that time too, we will be in the process of opening other condo apartments in different parts of the Philippines or Asia, if be that. So yeah, that's kind of where I see myself professionally. And then personally, gosh, I just hope I'm happy. I just hope I'm happy and in good health. I hope my parents, both of them, are in good health. I hope I still have good connections with the friends that I do have, and maybe even have more friends, newer friends that I have just as good of a connection with. I just want to keep like the circle of friends that I have like in good standing. I don't know, maybe have a pet, have my own place, my own house. Can I be a homeowner by the time I'm 30 in this economy? I don't know. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so the next group of questions comes from Patricia, and she asks a lot of Whitney Houston related questions. So here we go. Naughty or Nice Challenge Part 1, Being Bobby Brown, The Houstons, On Our Own, and Braxton Family Values Edition. I don't really know what you mean by that, Patricia, so I'm gonna skip that one. She also asked, which places in Newark and Atlanta do you want to go, especially some places related to Whitney Houston? I don't know what places in Atlanta I go that are related to Whitney, because I feel like when Whitney was in Atlanta, like that was just not a good period of time for her. But in Newark, I'd want to visit the church where Whitney grew up singing in. I'd also want to visit where she's buried in that cemetery. So yeah, that's where I want to go if I went to Newark. For Whitney Houston related things. The next question is, which person related to Whitney Houston you want to see and speak about the life with Whitney? Gosh, okay, related to Whitney, I would probably say, like, even though she's not technically biologically related to her, she's related to her because she married into the family. I'd want to speak to Donna Houston, who is, I don't think she's married to the brother anymore, but she was married to one of Whitney Houston's brothers. I'd want to speak to her because she just seems like a very nice lady, a kind lady, someone who has Whitney's best interests at heart. When I watched the documentary, she came off really well in the documentary, so I'd want to talk to her. And I feel like her and Whitney were really close too, so I'd want to talk to her. Or, you know, again, someone not related to Whitney, but someone who was very close to Whitney in her life, I would want to talk to Robin Crawford. If you don't know who Robin Crawford is, Google her. Okay, next question. Which 6 singer, actresses, or actresses do you want to play as Whitney Houston for the biopic? And then she gave me choices. A, Jordan Sparks. B, Carmen Ejogo. Okay, I don't know who that is. C, Tessa Thompson. D, Gugu Mbatha-Raw. E, Jennifer Hudson. Or F, Rosario Dawson. Ooh, Lord. Well, I don't know who Carmen is, so I have to eliminate her from this group. I don't know. I feel like Jennifer Hudson would be like the easy pick, but I personally don't see Jennifer Hudson as Whitney. I would eliminate her, and I'd also eliminate Jordan Sparks. that puts us down between Tessa Thompson, Gugu Mbatha-Raw, and Rosario Dawson. I feel like Rosario Dawson in no way, shape, or form. Like, then again, it's like, you can't really hold it against that person to have to look like the person who, like, it would help if they look like the person that they're portraying, but I don't get Rosario Dawson at all when I see Whitney, so then that leaves us to Tessa Thompson and Gugu Mbatha-Raw. Honestly, I feel like neither of these people could work, but if I had to choose for the sake of choosing, I'd probably choose, maybe Tessa Thompson. Yeah, maybe Tessa Thompson, but I don't think any of these choices work. Okay, next question is Naughty or Nice Challenge. Whitney Houston movie character edition. Which Whitney's movie characters will be in the Naughty or Nice list? Julia Biggs from The Preacher's Wife or Emma Anderson from Sparkle? Oof. Well, personally, I've only seen Sparkle once and I did not like that movie, so for the sake of Emma Anderson belonging to a really crappy movie, I'd put her in the naughty list for Sparkle and Julia Biggs on the nice list, because The Preacher's Wife is just a classic jam. Okay, Patricia also wants to know, what do you think about the video of Jaquise proclaiming himself as the new generation king of R&B? And did you see the video of Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown's reaction to Jaquise, king of R&B? Yes, I did see their reactions. Funny. And what do I think about him proclaiming himself as the new generation king of R&B? He is not my generation, sweetie, so there you go. I just feel like the newer talent now, they just really need to sit down and take several seats, because first of all, like, the legends who came before you, they were never like prophesizing themselves as being like, oh, I am this and I am that. And even if by the time people started calling themselves like the king of pop or like the voice, it wasn't until they had done a lot in their career. So Jaquise, like, I don't even, like, I've never heard a Jaquise song, so yeah, have several seats. Okay, the next question is, what is the most shocking scene from the Whitney documentary and the Bobby Brown story? Probably one of the most shocking scenes in the Whitney documentary for me was obviously learning that Whitney unfortunately was sexually molested as a child. And also that scene in the movie when they show like someone had put like pictures of different people in the 80s and they like labeled them as like either being queer or not queer, and they labeled Whitney even in the late 80s as being queer, so it's just like, oh my god, that was just so shocking to see. So there's that. And then in terms of shocking scene from the Bobby Brown story, probably that scene when I forget who does it. I think it's Bobby Brown starts running to a random, when Bobby Brown and Whitney and like other people from New Edition are on a tour bus, and Bobby Brown like runs out of the tour bus and he starts running to a random person's like property, and then Whitney runs after them, and then the person who lives on the property is like, oh my god, Whitney Houston. That was crazy. So I'd say that was pretty shocking. And then the last question from Patricia is, who was your most favorite person on your Sunday live stream? Well, Patricia, it's kind of a little loaded question there. I will say, though, I have no favorites. I love every single person who gets the chance to be on the live stream with me. Like, even if you're just there for 5 minutes and I was cut off there, but I was saying anybody who takes the time to just say hey, even if it's just like for 5 minutes, it's really cool. So yeah, I love every single person who joins me on the live stream. I'm trying to hurry this up because this has been an hour long because I am a very wordy person. Okay, the last two questions here come to us from two different people. First question is by JOCG0 and Tverse90. Favorite and least favorite Pose character. My favorite character is Blanca. Least favorite character is Matt, who is Evan Peters' character's boss on the show because he's a dick. Next question is by A.Christmas.tree. What's a movie you could watch over and over again without getting tired of it? Almost Famous. That's my favorite movie of all time. Almost Famous. I also really enjoy Silver Linings Playbook, so I probably could rewatch that over and over again. And like comedies, I would say like, you know, Mean Girls and Bridesmaids. So yeah, there's that. Woo! Lord, that was a lot of questions. If you were able to stick it out to the very end, I salute you, because again, I'm not going to be able to edit any of this footage. So hopefully you've had me on in the background while you were doing something productive, or maybe if you were actually watching me, you were enjoying your dinner or lunch or breakfast or something. But that's pretty much it for this unedited Q&A video, the last video for 2018. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and please turn on the notification button down below so you know when a new video from me comes out. I know some of you have been saying that you're not getting notifications, so I don't know, maybe turn off the notification and then turn on the notification again. Maybe it will like help restart that. And comment down below if comment down below if you were able to make it to the very end of this video, because this is a long video. I don't even think I would personally listen to myself talk for over an hour about anything. So if you made it to the very end of this video, fist pump, you're a real one. Okay, well, with that being said, I hope you guys have a safe and happy and fun New Year's Eve, and I hope you get every single thing that you want and desire in 2019. I hope you have a safe, happy, healthy, productive, efficient 2019. And I will just see you in the next one. Okay, bye!